We've got a combination of situations growing throughout Northern California, excessive heat and critical fire weather. I'm ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. We're going to be breaking it all down as we head into our holiday week. A seriously strong high pressure ridge building in across the west, sinking warming air, and it's going to amplify some of those afternoon highs. We started our stretch of 100s for some places on Sunday, expected to continue deep into the 10-day forecast. Excessive heat warning goes into place on Tuesday morning. That takes us through Sunday evening. Extreme heat risk means avoiding outside activities between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. is advised. And you'll see why those temperatures jump up quickly. We start the morning off in the 70s. By about noon, we're already into the 100s. So we're talking about potential record highs, not only daily record highs, but a potential record stretch of 100 plus degree heat. Red flag warning goes into effect a little bit sooner. That starts up Monday evening at 11 p.m., taking us through Wednesday evening. Gusty winds, low humidity, and the potential for rapid fire growth. Now, knowing the difference between the weather alerts is going to be critical. When we're in a fire weather watch, that is issued a couple days before an event may produce critical fire conditions. We are now in a red flag warning, which means confidence has increases and the event will produce critical fire conditions, including that very low humidity and as well the excessive heat. So our energy release component, we've seen this rapidly increase here with large fires likely. That's the category we're in right now. We've jumped up at 65.9% of that current ERC, but the forecast holds for this line going into the extreme burn potential by the time we get through this heat stretch. So it's very possible that we could see not only fires break out, but spread very quickly. This has all been happening as those fuels have been primed over the course of June. We've had 21 days above average. That put our average high at 94.3 degrees. The average for the entire month of June is 89.1. So a very warm June primed a lot of those low-level fuels, and now it's starting to kind of expand its way up throughout the foothills and eventually into the Sierra. Our normal average temperature, when we combine those afternoon highs and the overnight lows for June, is 73.9, but our warmest months are to come. That is July and August. We'll continue to see that fire potential grow as we dig deeper into a time frame where we just haven't seen any rain. So it's becoming longer and longer since that last rain and snow in our region. Our fire season comparisons, this is also slightly alarming given our 2023 acreage burn to date was only 7,500 acres. Right now, we're over 130,000 acres, well above even our 5-year average to date. Given that the last 2 years were fairly mild in terms of our peak fire season, we've got a lot of fuel to burn. Also in play, 2 wet years in a row. Not only have we seen a lot of the fuel growth, but very little burned over the past 2 years. We're going to be watching that story very closely. I mentioned the last significant rain and snow. Here's the date just for perspective. We're now closing in on almost 2 months without seeing any measurable precipitation. The last time we saw it for downtown Sacramento, May 4th, with just slightly over half an inch of rain. For the Central Sierra Snow Lab, sitting at Soda Springs, right along I-80, roughly near the Donner Pass. May 5th was the last date that we saw precipitation, and that was 26.4 inches. It just so happens that was also the most snow that we saw all season. So it was a pretty decent storm that rolled through at the beginning of May, but it's been 2 months since we've seen that precipitation. So our drought monitor continued to show some minor fluctuations on the last reading last Thursday. Dryness is up to 2.82%. No drought covers 97% of the state. Our drought severity and coverage index now at 3. So we're starting to chip away a little bit on that drought growing throughout the state. Given that we typically don't see any rain for the next couple of months, it's very likely we'll kind of sit status quo at that range. But with the heat that's in play, that could be a factor. Possible public safety power shutoffs coming into play on Tuesday because of the red flag warning, the dry conditions, plus the winds that are going to be in combination with everything. We're going to be tracking this for Shasta, Tehama, Butte, Glen, Colusa, Lake, Sonoma, Napa, Yolo, and Solano counties for Tuesday. Now, you'll also notice when I show you the winds, those are also going to be the counties that are going to be dealing with some of the strongest wind gusts, upwards of 30 plus miles per hour. Out of the northwest, those are dry, warming winds, and they just really allow those humidities to plummet to about 5 to 15%. We'll continue to see those gusty winds Tuesday morning, especially on the west side of the valley through the coastal range. As we head into our Wednesday, during the day, they'll kind of be back and forth, but overnight Tuesday into early Wednesday, that's when we see a resurgence of those winds coming right down that coastal range there, again, elevating the fire danger for much of the western side of the valley. We'll see this periodically through the afternoon, but things start to subside somewhat during the evening, Wednesday into early Thursday. Time to really put into play those safe fire practices preventing a spark. Mowing lawns, not dry grass. If you can actually opt to not mow lawns over the next couple of days, it would definitely serve a good purpose. Maybe put it off a couple of days, or if you absolutely have to, before 10 a.m. Keep in mind also, metal against rocks can equal a spark, and chains, secure those chains, not have them dragging. This is big camping season right now, but dragging chains already caused one grass fire in the region, and it spread very quickly. A couple of weather impact headlines that we're going to be tracking, not only the high fire danger, but the combination of the heat. We're talking highs between 105 to 112. Now, already today, another 100-degree day for much of the valley. I will point this out. Marysville, we had our monitoring site drop off a little early today, so that afternoon high not quite accurate. 90s for the foothills and 80s up top for the Sierra, but all throughout the region. We're going to be talking about multiple impacts that are in play, including some warm overnight lows. So our weather risk outlook is all about the heat. Tuesday, we start that red flag warning with major heat risk in play. Wednesday, we combine not only our red flag warning, but extreme heat risk, and then we'll continue that into July 4th and through the holiday weekend. Now, the longest stretches of heat, breaking it down here, the longest stretch of 100-plus degree heat for downtown Sacramento, 11 days. That was back starting July 16th, 2006, and took us through July 26th. The longest stretch of 105-degree-plus days was 7. Not too long ago, 2013, starting June 28th, and that took us through the July 4th holiday. The longest stretch of 110-degree days, or over that, 2 days. That was back in 2022, September 5th and 6th, when we hit our all-time record high of 116 degrees. So July 4th, right about the time that we can see this stretch of 100-plus degree heat, and we're going to be feeling every bit of it. Tomorrow we'll have 109, July 3rd, Wednesday 112, and that leads us into the holiday, July 4th, at 109 degrees. Now, it's really important to keep in mind that weather-related fatalities, heat's the #1 killer. Even surpassing hurricanes, lightning, tornadoes, and flood, heat on a yearly basis kills more people than all of those other weather hazards that we deal with. And sometimes they don't get the biggest headlines. So a lot of people don't necessarily take the precautions that need to be taken. Limiting time outdoors, also taking frequent breaks, even just stepping into the shade can provide a little bit of relief, or proper hydration. You want to definitely make sure it is water, not alcohol, which continues to dehydrate folks. So our average first day benchmarks, these are just some of them. The first 100-degree day, June 5th, we were right about that this year. First 105-degree day, July 2nd, and pretty close to seeing that, as well as our first 100-degree day, usually July 21st. It looks like we'll probably be a little bit early on that one. So again, just kind of keeping track of where we've been and that typical first day. We're pretty much right on target there. First 105-degree day, haven't quite hit that, but it looks like we'll be right on target for July 2nd and little bit ahead of the game for July 21st for that first 110-degree day. High pressure ridge building in with a big holiday heat, keeping that storm track well to the north of us. So despite the fact we have this low moving in off the coast, just really struggling to make it our way. Now, we've got a couple of tropical systems that are moving their way through the Gulf of Mexico into parts of potentially Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, possibly Belize will be following Beryl. And the only reason why I point that out is with a little bit of moisture working its way in, if this high taps into any of that, we could potentially bring in some cloud cover and break some of the intense heat that we're looking at. Right now, it doesn't look like that's the case, but it's a little early in the game for Beryl. That's moving its way through the Caribbean right now, and it's just something that we'll keep an eye on. I just wanted to put that out there just because it's a story that will continue to follow. So the 8 to 14-day climate outlook, very likely warmer even through the middle of July. Once we get past this holiday weekend, I'm really not seeing much of a break in the heat. And again, that's why I want to track that tropical moisture just in case it does provide us with a little bit of cloud cover and a temporary break in the 100 stretch. Highs in the 80s tomorrow for the Sierra. We're in the 90s and 100s through the foothills. Now, this is one of the stories that we're going to be tracking is those warm foothill overnight lows. Will be only dropping into the 70s and at times near 80 degrees. That AC just cranking all night long for many foothill locations. Just not a lot of relief heading into that daytime heat that will be topping out around 105 to 108 for tomorrow. Near 80 for San Francisco. We've got heat advisories in place all along the coast. Once we head inland, this is where we see some of the extreme conditions. Rio Vista at 111, Vacaville at 110 after starting off at 74 degrees. Tracy, we start off at 77 degrees in the morning, warming to a high of 110, 109 for Antioch. Napa dealing with 100-plus degree heat as well. We'll have to track that wine story, see how the grapes are going to be holding up in the heat. And as we head through the Central Valley, you can see some of these locations very warm for overnight lows, including Woodland at 77, an afternoon high of 110, Calusa 78, Yuba City 76, both with afternoon highs deep into the 100s. Davis starts off at 76, warms to a high of 108. In the Inland Valley areas, we'll see a little bit better cooling, especially as we see some of that radiational cooling take place. We have the clear skies and some of that heat able to radiate and just kind of lift out of there. Manteca up to 110. We're at 109 for Patterson. Even region-wide, there's just very little place that is going to see some relief from the heat. So typically we might say, oh, head up the hill to the mountains and get some relief, or toward the coast to get some relief. Not to say that it won't be better, but it's going to still be pretty sticky and very warm up in the mountains. They tend to have a little bit higher humidity, so 80s and 90s going to be feeling it. In the hills, this is what I'm talking about, starting off near 80 degrees on Wednesday with our highs warming deep into the 100s through the holiday weekend. For the coast, we're going to be seeing highs close to 80 Tuesday and Wednesday, a little better relief Friday and Saturday, dropping into the low 70s. But a lot of folks don't have air conditioning along the coast, so even in the 80s and 70s, it's going to be very hot. You can take a look at that weather playlist here with our in-depth forecasts and explainers and weather specials, as well as our Emmy award-winning specials, The Future of California's Water on ABC 10 Plus. It's live, local, and always on. You can watch for free on Apple TV, Roku TV, as well as Fire TV. I did want to show you our weather impact days here. This is going to be the first 3 days of our forecast. It's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we've got those highlighted there. Wednesday being the hottest day at 112. Now we're going to expand those weather impact alert days all the way through the holiday weekend, and you can easily see why with these temperatures between 110 and 111 on Friday and Saturday, even 109 potentially on Sunday. That's one of those iffy days. Right now we're going to call for it just because it could be a pretty dangerous situation. As we expand the view here, you can see we'll still be in the 100s, and we could be heading that record stretch of 100-plus degree heat. Here's a look at our records. So each day we're really going to be flirting with those record highs, either tying them or breaking them for at least the next 6 days. And again, for some of us, we started that 100-degree stretch on Sunday. It's something we'll be tracking.